Episode 31, Sunday. Good morning. My buddy was talking to me about a friend of mine. I was just having a conversation with him this morning. He was talking about how he's getting a divorce. And sometimes I say congratulations. Sometimes I say I'm sorry to hear that, man, if that hurts you. But God bless you. Now you're single, baby. Let's go. Let's go have some fun. Come on over. Let's have some drinks. But we kind of got in that conversation of how to keep relationships together, because I don't really think he wants the divorce. I think it's just the whole relationship has ran its course, And I kind of got into advice mode. But anytime I give advice, I always go, you want to hear my opinion, or do you want me to just listen to you? Because most people don't really want your opinion. But because if your relationship's lacking some of this stuff, it has a hard time hanging in. You know what I mean? And I've been around the block a few times, so I've felt it. I've done a lot of dumb things in relationships. I've done a lot of good things. I find what works, what doesn't. We're all still learning. These are all, things that even I need to work on. Anytime you give advice, that's why it's like teachers become better at teaching by giving advice. And that's a fact. That is true. Like if you're a martial arts teacher, you become a better martial artist by teaching. That's a fact. By showing people. So it was like one of the things I was telling my buddy, I was like, look, communication is key. And I know in his relationship, they've lost communication. That happens when you start to lose respect and but it's really communication and serious communication. Meaning like, look, kind of these things where it's like, but sometimes, I'm just going to call it out there because there's always exceptions to rules and things like that. But I would have to say communication's key, because you're just going, like, look, I got a problem with you, whatever. I got a problem with you, the fact that that kitchen is just a mess. It's a mess. I work all day. I'm speaking as him. I'm not going to say my own personal relationship, even though these are things that we deal with also. But I don't feel that the advice comes across correctly if you're talking about yourself. You know what I mean? Because I hear this a lot. They go, well, that's just you, Ian. That's you. So I want to speak in general here. And I think communication is key in general. And it's about everything, whatever's bothering you. Think about it. Think about what's in your head, what's bothering you about your relationship. And tell them, go, look, I'm having this issue. And a lot of times it helps over drinks. Pour a couple glasses of wine, open up a beer, a little whiskey, whatever. And you kind of go, look, these are the things that are kind of bothering me. I'm just going to make something up, but it's like, look, I worked at the plant all day, and I come home and the kitchen is messy. The kids are not cleaned up, and I am tired. I'm tired. And I'm busting my ass for you and the kids. And it's just these little things. These small little things can make a relationship better. Because by her cleaning up the kitchen, like say she's not working or whatever, but it doesn't matter if she's working. It almost, in my opinion, say both, because I hear women say this a lot. Oh, well, I work too. Yeah, I know you do. But who got home first? A lot of times, I really believe that. Who gets home first? Kind of let's straighten up for the other person when they get home, and they're not tripping over toys or they're not tripping over stuff. I really believe it's the who gets home first. And a lot of times it's who brings home the bacon. That's a fact. And look, I don't care how you feel about that. Who pays the bills? The other person should do a little cleaning. I think that's just respect. I'm not even saying in relationships. Let's just say roommates, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, say if you're just in a roommate, if you get home first, why not pick up a little for the for the other person to come in. Why not? Make them feel good when they walk in. So it's those little things, and you start to see those things deteriorate because it shows that you don't care. You don't really care what the other person thinks of you. You know, and it's like when the person comes home, like the coming home is the great example. There's so many different examples, but try not to look a mess. Try not to have things just be a mess. You know, like men, we love coming home to a pretty woman. You know what I mean? And I'm not even saying you have to be all dolled up in a dress, but, you know, just the ugly bun and the fucking just the scraggly hairs coming out of the bun and the sweatpants and then you're miserable. The first thing you do is start complaining when he walks in the door. Try to get rid of that. Try. I know it happens sometimes, but not all. It can happen all the time. You gotta fix that. But communication is key, because sometimes all these things come out in arguments, and that doesn't work. So you got to be like, look, baby, I'm having a hard time with. I'm tired when I get home, and I just need these things picked up, man. And that would just be a huge help to me, just mentally, you know. And women really feed off your man's feelings, meaning like if he's bummed and he's complaining every day, she's going to be miserable. So guys, you got to watch that. You got to start being a little happier when you get home. Bottle it up. You know, bottle a little bit of that up, but communication is key. Communication is an umbrella across the board. Whatever's bothering you gotta, and if it doesn't get fixed, then I guess you gotta bail. You know, it's like how to keep a relationship together. Well, look, if it's not working, it ain't working. You know what I mean? Communication is key. So whatever's bothering you, I say bring it out in calmly. Don't insult, but calmly bring it up, and be assertive. You know. Women like that. Women like a man that takes control, takes charge. So try it. You know what I mean? So it's like, also moving on from communication, be worth something in the relationship. Be worth something. Think about it. Be worth something. You know, one person brings home the cash, the other person does the cleaning. It's a team. It's good. It's a good move. You know? Or one person brings home the cash, the other person was out dealing with whatever, an audition, and you know it's going to be hard. Go ahead and do some cleaning. The cleaning is a big deal, guys. Cleaning is a big deal. There's just something to it. There's something to the fact, because it shows that you cared. Like, hey, I didn't want you to come home to this mess after your audition. You know? On both sides, it just do a little picking up, not a big deal. Just move things to the side, at least, if you don't have the time. I think those are big deals, but you got to be worth something. If one person is bringing home the cash, well, look, you got to do something else. And sex ain't enough, guys. It's not, because you can get sex anywhere. It's really, you got to be worth something in the relationship. I mean, it's like I keep going back to the roommate thing. If you got a roommate and that roommate is just lounging around and lazy as fuck, and you've been busting your ass, and now you got to get home and clean too, you know, same with roommates. Pick it up. Let's go. Be worth something. You know, go get your man's car washed, or go get your woman's car washed. Do a little something to make their lives a little easier. If you feel like you're actually in the way, or you're making their life harder, you got to fix that. Because you're supposed to do a little something to make your lives easier. I know it's sometimes easier said than done, because when you add another body into the house, it is a little bit more problems, but try. The answer is trying. And really, don't be lazy. That's another one. There's nothing more unattractive than laziness. Nothing, guys. There's nothing more unattractive than laziness. When a woman sees you being lazy, now, if you worked all day and you just want to lounge and watch the game, cool. Absolutely, because you're recharging yourself a little bit. But the laziness is so unattractive. You know, even fake it. If you feel like being lazy, maybe do that on your own time. I don't know. But there's nothing more unattractive than laziness, scrolling through Instagram or something, right? And you just sit there and scroll and you're just burning time. There's nothing more unattractive. And I think we all do it. Everybody is guilty of that one. You know? So it's like, these are the things I was telling my buddy. Now, I've kind of, after it, I kind of made a list because it was interesting. But, you know, it's like, you know, it's like, and especially, here's a great one. My buddy that's getting the divorce, they are opposite in politics. Now, you know my stance on that. So what? So what? Because both you motherfuckers don't know shit. You know what I mean? One person's an iron worker. One person's a hairdresser. You don't know shit about politics. Just stop it. Stop it. I mean, it makes it hard when one's way on the left and one's a little more on the right. There's definitely, but you need to understand that both of you guys don't know shit. So if your relationship is important, stop with the politics, because who gives a fuck? And women, please. There is nothing more unattractive than a woman that is so far into politics. It just is. I'm sorry to say it. It is, though. There's not a man that goes, ooh, I love her take on politics. No, there's not one man out there. Not one. Not a one. And there's also nothing more unattractive than a guy that goes on and lets politics ruin his day. You can't do it. You got to move on. You got to try to support that family. You know what I mean? So, politics, get rid of that shit. You know. And it's like, and things that aren't worth fighting about, generally, guys, I'm going to give you some advice. You're the one that's got to take the reins on this. If you're fighting about some bullshit, you know, do something silly. Pull your pants down in the middle of the fight. Right? Like, that's a great move. Just to put the fire out. But don't let dumb fights get in the way. Don't do it. Because stop it and go, what are we fighting about? What is this? What is this? And say if the fight was weird because you're all with drinking or something, wake up the next day and go, sorry about that one. Baby, I'm sorry about that one. And I hope she would do the same thing. Most chicks don't, because I think there's a little bit of in the chicks that like to fight, you know. But just go, hey, sorry about that one, you know. Even though I think I'm right, and I'll say that sometimes too. I'd be like, baby, I think I'm right, but I didn't like that fight, so let's get out of that bullshit. Now, especially if the fight is not, you know, fucking nothing. It's over nothing, you know, which most of the time it is, guys. Most of the time it is, and the ego's too much, and you're in the same roof, you're in the same house, you know, and guys, like, if you're fighting, and just leave the house and go hang out with your buddies. Use it as an excuse to go hang with your boys. Your boys will listen. Your boys, fucking me, come on in anytime, buddy. Let's go. Let's have some drinks. I love talking about your shitty relationship. But I've learned over the years not to give advice unless you ask. You know, it's like if I used to be that guy, then, you know, nothing's worse than a know-it-all. So sometimes you're like this. I'm a 19-year-old kid and I'm giving my buddies advice like I know everything. Shut the fuck up. You know, when you give advice, I think it's like, I like to say, I think, in my experience, things like that. Don't say I know. Say I think, or in my experience, I've noticed that, and fill in the blank. I like that better. You know, so it's like, it's like, you know, yeah, the politics, bad news. Get out of it. I know it's hard. Some of you guys are way into politics, but I'm telling you, in the long run, politics changes so fast. The news feeds you all kinds of bullshit. Don't let it hurt your relationship, because that's what they want. The quote unquote that's what they want. They want to break up the homes. It's true. They want to break up homes. They want to break up independent businesses. I mean, I really believe that. So you gotta, you know, you gotta get out of that. And I'm also going to move on from that to go be secure. There's nothing more unattractive than an insecure man. Nothing. And we all are, guys. We all are. But you got to try to get over it. There's nothing more unattractive. There's nothing more unattractive than jealousy. Now, I know chicks like a lot of jealousy. A little bit of jealousy. I've come to find that out because I am not jealous in the slightest. And I know sometimes girls have a problem with that because I don't give a fuck. I really don't. Like if you're going to cheat on me or do something shitty, well then, out the door you are. I don't put up with nonsense. But I also am not going to spend my time being jealous. But I guess there is a little bit of jealousy sometimes. Who knows? But there's nothing more unattractive than insecurity, guys. You got to dump it. You got to get rid of insecurity somehow, some way. And I think a lot of it starts to do with yourself. Don't put it on her. A lot of you guys are putting it on her. So it's you're putting your insecurities on her, and I think that's a problem. And whatever your insecurities are, you got to fix it. Like sometimes whatever, she's in the gym and she's banging weights out and starting to look good, and you're starting to look like a fat piece of shit. Well, time to get in the gym, son. There does need to be a little bit of a competition in being fit. I think that's important. Or skills. I think that's also important. Like I think I got a pretty good competition with my girl, and it's just in my own head because she's a hell of a singer, much better singer than me and musician for sure. So it does help me to try to step up my game. I think that's important. It's like as a musician, it's important to be around people but you can't use your jealousy towards it. Do you know what I'm saying? And I don't. That's something that I'm proud that I don't do. I am not jealous of people that are better than me at my skill or my profession. I use it to try to get better. I use it to go, let me see how you did that, rather than putting them down and being insecure about it, or being, be proud of them for being awesome. And I think that's also something. Be proud of your insignificant, your insignificant other. Be proud of it. No, be proud of your other, because that is important. Because if you're not, you got to get out of that. You're just, like, are you the chick that puts your man down? You know what I'm saying? Like in front of his friends or something, he'll be saying something. She'll be like, "Now, no, he did this last time," and you're just like, and the whole circle of friends gets deflated. Like, ooh, that's rough. That's rough. Never ever put your man down, because it makes you look bad. Like having your man be up and being a killer and being awesome makes you look good as a woman, and vice versa. If you're talking shit about your woman all the time, like she sucks, piece of shit, it makes you look weak, guys. So I would dump that. I would get out of that. And you got to tell her, like, look, I got a little problem with, with some things. And I've gotten pretty good at that lately. Now that I'm older, I'll be like, look, I got a little problem with this. Do you intend to fix that? And most of the time it's like, oh, my bad. And I've done it too. I go, oh shit, I didn't know I was doing that. My bad. I'll fix that. And that goes with relationships with your friends too, I think, where it's like, with your real friends, because real friends can let you slide if you're being an asshole. You're being an asshole, and they're like, look, you got to call them the next day and be like, my bad. Sorry about that, buddy. I was a little drunk, a little ornery, And then with this last one, I'm going to close it out again with motherfucking communication. Communication is key. Talk it out, man. I'm telling you, even if it hurts, it'll be better. Like looks, if she's really slipping in looks, you got to go, baby, me and you, we got to fix this thing together. Because usually if her looks are slipping, usually yours are too, buddy. I'm just letting you know. If you feel her looks are slipping, so is yours. Straight up. And that's usually how it goes down. So it's like, and I'm just using looks as an example. It could be other things, whatever. Other things that holds relationships together. But looks are important. They just are, man. You know, if you're unattractive to the other person, it's brutal. So I'm gonna bookend this thing with communication, straight up. Keep that communication. All right, well, there's my shitty advice. I'm out. Happy Sunday, guys. Go get some drinks. Later.